Hello and welcome to match 5 of Bash vs. Ash. You might notice that my voice sounds different. I'm currently recovering from COVID. I first started feeling the symptoms about a week ago, and I'm pretty much back, although I'm still a little bit congested and I'm coughing a good deal, so just expect some cough breaks during the match. But with that out of the way, Following an unexpected loss, a human man trudges over to the stands, keeping his gaze low. He wears an uneasy grin, smiling as his fans pat him on the back in consolation. The man pushes through the crowd, then through a flock of reanimated carcasses. The undead were present at past tournaments, courtesy of the Spore Druids, although he always gave them a wide berth. Today, however, he lacks the usual disgust accompanying such close contact with undead. His mind lies elsewhere, occupied by an emotion he has not felt in such severity in decades: shame. He slips behind the braided tree trunks and other shaped undergrowth behind the stadium seating, ducking out of sight and into a quiet alcove. In spite of himself, he stiffens up upon regarding what he confronts. There is someone waiting. The body of an elderly elven man casually leans against the wall on the right side. The skin is discolored and the eyes are unfocused in the characteristic manner of a zombie, but a determined fire burns behind the watery bulbs sitting in their sockets, hinting at an unnatural intelligence. In their hands is a small tin can, and they are thoughtfully evacuating its contents with a spoon. They pause to glance across at the human on the left, flash him a relaxed smile, and unhurriedly finish chewing. How disappointing.
I'm sorry, I messed up. I underestimated her. I didn't know she would be so strong. I thought I had knocked her out.
Yes, she possesses extraordinary tenacity. I underestimated her before, too. Perhaps I also underestimated you. Don't make the same mistake again. Remember, all I am asking is for you to knock the knight unconscious.
But the bracket...
Yes, I know. The way the match is lined up was unfavorable. Yet, you did not bribe the organizer into rearranging the contestants, instead banking on the hope that you would meet in match 11. Well, the plan has changed. Win your next match, and make sure that the knight loses his. Then, the two of you will face off in match 9, you will complete your end of the deal, and you will not speak a word of this to anyone else. Understood?
Yes.
Good. Any questions?
What exactly is this tattoo that you put on my arm earlier? It's unlike anything I've seen before.
Simply a way for me to make sure you hold up your end of the deal. One of the control sequences allows me to extend my senses into it. Please, do be sure to get a nice view of the instant you put the knight down.
One of the control sequence? There's more than one?
Ha! It's best you don't know what the others do. I knew that special ink was a good investment. Blends right into the skin. Terribly expensive to produce, which is why I don't use it on myself. Don't worry, once your job is complete, you won't have to worry about it anymore. Anything else?
A little unrelated, but I thought undead like you didn't need to eat.
Right, that is a gross overgeneralization, but you are correct that a reanimated body such as this one does not expressly require food. However, without constant upkeep, the flesh languishes. Hence, I make sure to continue feeding and toning the body.
I see. Why beans?
Oh, this? I would normally pair this with rice, but my last little storage cache was burned down. The combination of beans and rice provides the body with a wide variety of proteins and other important nutrients, and it's economical too. Also, I'm trying to get the taste of cheese out of my mouth.
Cheese. Right. Hey, I rarely hear about undead that are capable of speech, much less ones that are as cunning and autonomous as yourself. What exactly is up with that?
My case is unique. I recommend you get a move on. Your next match is starting soon. Remember, not a single word to anyone.
You know, you'd be a whole lot more threatening if you weren't holding a can of beans and pointing a spoon at me.
Oh, good. The paralysis still works. It'd been so long I wasn't sure it still did. There, run along now.
The man shakily pulls himself to an upright position and hurriedly limps off without a backwards glance. The undead elf returns to attending to their can of beans. Several minutes pass.
Well, I thought something felt strange. I had written off the feeling of being observed as originating from the crowd. Luckily for me, that's not a one-way channel. Now, let's see who...
But with that out of the way, let's get started here. So, entering the match, Bash looks awfully nervous about something. I guess he seems like maybe a little more pale than usual. Maybe you think that just due to the results of the previous match, he's a little concerned about what's going on, because like he had that one in the bag almost until Sunrock got a nat 20 on a death save, promptly popping back up and just toppling him over the edge. So that was delightful. And Ash, she is very relaxed as usual. She seems a little ticked off at Bash. It seems like she doesn't like him a lot. But the two of them walk into the match and they get started with things. So in Phase A, they're going to do their items on tickets. Bash is going to put down his shield 5 times. So shield on all 5 of his tickets. He seems to be awfully serious about this and he's not playing around anymore. Ash, she has put her 5 tickets as her staff 3 times, 1 oil flask, and 1 alchemist's fire. For the so that's what they do there. Bash, he is going to protect his shield and then sacrifice his 4 other tickets to just try to remove all of Ash's stuff. She has protected her staff and then sacrificed one of her like extra staff tickets to bring in an oil flask, but everything else gets removed. So in the end, Bash brings in his shield and Ash brings in her staff, her spellcasting focus, her staff, and her multitude of flasks of oil. And with Phase A and Phase B done, we'll now get into the match, into the fighting part of the match. So I'm going to roll initiative for these 2 contestants here. Whoops. So starting off is Bash. And he is just full on going in no nonsense mode. So at the top of round 1, he is just going to run directly over to Ash using 20 feet of his movement. And he's just going to go for a grapple. So unsurprisingly, he just overpowers her, succeeds the grapple, and then moves back a little bit, dragging her 5 feet. On his second turn, he's going to move 15 and then dash, move another 15. Ash is going to try to escape this, but first she's just going to, following the precedent set by Rock's Zone, she's going to just empty a flask of oil onto herself to give her advantage on attempting to escape this grapple. So she's going to use oil flask as an action, and then on her second turn, she is going to try to break out with another action. With advantage on her check, she fails. So, unsuccessfully struggling through this, even covered in oil, she can't break out of this. Round 2, Bash, he is just going to action dash over 15 feet, and then he is going to use... Okay, well, his movement on his first turn is to walk over 15 feet, and he's just going to try to shove her over. So here are the appropriate checks, and he succeeds, unsurprisingly, thus toppling her over into the end zone and ending the match in just 2 rounds. So this is, I think, the most efficient match, like the quickest anyone has ever done. And you see that the crowd is very confused about this because they're used to, well, particularly Bash, just like showing off and just like generally, like not exactly wasting turns, but like he has been known to like gloat and like taunt victory or like whatever. But it seems that after the results of the previous match, he's no longer doing that. And thus ends the match. That was a very quick one. So no changes to the crowd hype here, aside from the thing about them, their DC increasing by 5 for every additional match they play. So currently, both of them are sitting at a DC 20 because they haven't gone and affected any of that. And this number will change as things go on. So, unfortunately for Ash, that is the end of her career here. Knocked out in this double elimination here. So, due to the tournament format, you do appear in at least 2 matches, but after your second loss, you're done. And Ash is done. So let me clear the initiative tracker here. After this match is over, you see Ash, she kind of like dusts herself off, kind of like takes out a towel or something, wipes all the excess oil off, and she, like, you can't exactly see her expression from behind the mask that she's wearing, but she doesn't seem too super bothered by it. You actually see her like walk over to the stands and talk with like one of the other contestants. You see Dash, the rogue of the NPCs. He walks over and then hands her a big bag of gold, it looks like. And she just wordlessly nods and then seems to cast a spell on him. And let me mark that off on her sheet. This will have consequences later on. So, yep, that's happening. It appears that Dash has received some kind of buff from Ash, and she will no longer be participating in the matches of the tournament. However, she will still be present as just like someone that can be interacted with. You see Bash. So I've not been running these matches chronologically due to like scheduling with like the holidays around. Things are a little harder to put in chronological order, so we've been going out of that. But technically, like in game, these are all happening sequentially and chronologically. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 so on and so forth. So this right here was match 5. The upcoming one, match 6, is going to be, I believe it's, match 6 is the PvP match of Roxone versus IDK. So that's going to happen at some point. But technically just doing a little bit of hand wavy time warping. An upcoming one is match 8, which is Roxone, aka Dave, versus Clash. So as that match is happening, you see a lot of like just like stuff happening in the crowd. You see Bash actually just like talking to a couple of people, and we'll explore that later on when we actually play the match. But there's something going on behind the scenes. Other than that, Ash kind of like kicks back. She has taken, I think, like no damage whatsoever during this match and is just like chilling. She's just hanging out in the crowd doing whatever, and she's like kind of playing with a coin, flipping it between her knuckles. She seems awfully relaxed about what's going on here, and she is an interactable NPC. So is everyone else, in case you want to talk to them during your rest phase. So we'll get to that when we do. And this thus wraps up match 5. I'll see you in the next ones.